What is going on, YouTube? We are back again with another stream. And wow, we are already lagging just a little bit. This is interesting. But it's good to see everybody. Hopefully, you guys can hear me, and hopefully, it's coming through all right on your guys' end. The biggest thing for a lot of you guys have been asking, where have I been? And we are actually on the 4for4 YouTube channel, which if you guys were to actually come over and check out, I actually got hired by 4for4 Fantasy Football this year because I'm actually expecting child number one. So we're definitely really excited about that. And so definitely want you guys to come over and check that out. And actually, we're double streaming on both channels here tonight. So if you want to go check out the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel, I actually just dropped a video about 2 days ago. So highly recommend that you guys go check that out if you guys haven't already. And we're going to get to everybody start questions here tonight. So if you already put it in, shout out to Element, Jeff, Seawolves, Carson, Patrick's here, Lon's here. Shout out to Adam for being here from the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. We're going to get to all of those. But if you guys are on the Caleb Nimi Fantasy Football YouTube channel, make sure you come over to the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel because that's where we're actually going to be streaming a lot later on in the season. And is this super laggy for you? Like I said, this is the first stream of the year, so I'm trying to see how laggy this is looking for all of you guys right now. No, this is coming through okay. This is coming through okay. Lon said, hey, congrats. What's the name? It's right here on the screen, Lon. It's this 4for4 Fantasy Football channel. We literally just started it at the beginning of the season. Okay, Element, thank you for the slight lag. I don't know what that is about. Like I said, I'm using a new software, so might be something there, but let me just check my settings really quick and see if I can get a little less lag. Let's see if I just cut it down to 720, if that's going to help at all. Let's see. No, it's not looking any better. Not looking any better. Oh, Lon. And I'm reading both chats. I actually have both chats connected there, Element. So we're going to get to all this in a second, but just wanted to show you guys, and we're actually going to use, so if you guys actually use, I know so since I'm actually now working with 4for4, if you use code YouTube, there's this awesome start sit tool that's there. So I just wanted to give an example of what this would look like. So like I said, thanks Element for being here. He said you had to wait. So I appreciate you there. Jeff comes in where he says James Cook or Tony Pollard and Xavier Worthy or Tyreek Hill. You have Mahomes at quarterback. Thanks. So Jeff, we're actually going to use you here in this tool. And I'm not going to use this all tonight, like I said, but if you guys want to use code YouTube, it actually gets you guys 25% off the site. And I'll be honest, I've actually used this a little bit the past few seasons, and it's been super good. Haven't actually used it on start sit streams before, so this is brand new. But like Jeff, let's do yours where you said like James Cook versus Tony Pollard. So you literally just go in, you type in your player, whoever it is, and this is based on 4for4's rankings. So for me, I already know it's going to be James Cook, but let's just say hypothetically, and you click start, you're actually going to be able to see, boom, James Cook, 15th ranked running back, Tony Pollard's 19th. If you want to look through like the projections and matchups, it just gets pretty deep in the weeds. So like I know sometimes if you come into the start sit streams, I'm like just pretty quick to the point because we have a ton of people asking questions. But so like Jeff, in this particular instance, I would go James Cook, but we don't have to go through and use the tool the whole time. The second part of this question, you said, man, and you're right. We are lagging just a hot bit, here. Second one would be Xavier Worthy or Tyreek Hill. Jeff, I'm still going to go with Tyreek Hill. I understand he wasn't elected a captain, but I'm still going to be giving the go ahead there to Tyreek Hill over Xavier Worthy. So appreciate you, Jeff. And like I said, guys, if you guys could go and subscribe to the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. We just crossed over the 1,000 subscriber mark. We're quickly growing the channel. We have one of the reasons that I joined, like I said, I think was kind of said, is I'm expecting child number one this fall. And so I just wanted to not only put together better production than I was, because I actually have like an editor over there, but also I got to partner with some really great guys like John Polson and Addison Hayes, who are also really, really great content creators. So I'm putting out about 3 videos a week. They're putting out about 3 videos a week. So plus a stream. So we're like almost, technically, I think we're like 6 days a week because we're not posting anything on Sundays, but it's going to be a ton of content. So definitely go check that out. Seawolves, you're up. You said, hi, Caleb. Hope all's well. No, dude, doing well. You said, rate the following in order. Standard, DJ Moore, Tet McMillan, Garrett Wilson. Ooh, in standard, I probably go Garrett Wilson, Tet McMillan, DJ Moore this week for you, Seawolves. Appreciate you for tuning in. Carson is in the building. Hey, brother Carson. Am I a daddy yet? Not yet. That the baby is due September 20th. So definitely going to it's coming. It's coming. We're about like 18-ish, 20-ish days away. And so that's definitely we're gonna have to kind of see what this is looking like kind of here over these next few weeks. And so that was another reason too, as I wanted some better support, like I said, running the YouTube channel. So joining 4for4 has been an absolute blast. Patrick, what's up, dude? What's up, dude? You said start May or Purdy in a 4-point passing touchdown. Now, Patrick, I am super, super bullish on Drake May this season. Like, I love myself some Drake May, but I think I'm going to have to go with Brock Purdy this week, my guy. And you said 12-team keeper league, 2 wide receiver, running back, 1 flex. Trade Sampson plus Scattaboo for Kraft. Quarterbacks are Purdy, May, Chase Brown, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Warren, Scattaboo, Tootin, Sampson. Trade Sampson plus Scattaboo for Kraft. And where are our tight ends right here? Warren. You already got Warren. Personally for me, dude, I want the Sampson Scattaboo side. I want that kind of better running back upside that's going to happen when you trade Sampson and Scattaboo. I understand we don't know. We just are getting the news that Quinshon Judkins is probably going to sign here over the next few days. That's not really going to impact my next few weeks projections with Jerome Ford or with Dylan Sampson. And then Scattaboo, we know if something were to happen to Tyrone Tracy, Scattaboo's right there. So I love some Kraft, but the fact that you have Warren, or that's Jalen Warren, I don't even know who your other tight end though is, Patrick. I still lean, assuming it's just somebody decent, I would go with the package there. What up, Lon? Good to see you. He said, I was wondering where you've been, what's popping. But yeah, dude, like I said, on that 4for4 fantasy football YouTube channel. So definitely, guys, if you guys want your questions answered, I'm answering all my comments over there as well. So we definitely want you guys over in part of the community. Elma said, yo, love you, dude. Eddie said, hey, Caleb, missed you, man. Appreciate you, Eddie. I missed all you guys too. I swear to God, I posted it on my X and I posted it multiple posts in the YouTube post channel. I'm sure you guys didn't see them. I didn't like make a video or anything, but definitely check out the 4for4 fantasy football YouTube channel because that's where I'm going to be all season long. And we're going to actually be doing streams up until like the baby's born. I'll probably miss maybe a stream, but we're going to be streaming on Wednesday nights at 8. Wednesday nights at 8. I know we're streaming on a Tuesday night, but Wednesday nights at 8. And we're going to figure out this lag. I need to figure out this lag. I don't know what's happening. But it's just like a slight delay that's happening. And I need to figure this out. Jeff said James Cook. Oh, just answer this, Jeff. James Cook and Tyreek Hill would be who I go with. Element said, this might be a crazy question, but Josh Allen or Dak Prescott? Element, that is a crazy question. Don't overthink it. Josh Allen this week. Adam, thank you so much for tuning in from the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. You said start Mahomes versus Chargers versus Bo Nix versus Tennessee. It's a valid question. And the fact that you have both of them, Patrick Mahomes, Chargers, I have him as a top 8 QB this week. I have Bo Nix a little bit lower. Have him as my QB 10 this week. So honestly, Adam, I would go with Patrick Mahomes, but I also understand the worry of is Patrick Mahomes not going to be the same Patrick Mahomes from old? That's a whole different story. I'm predicting, Adam, a pretty big bounce back for Patrick Mahomes this season, but I do like that you kind of have both. You probably drafted them pretty close, but Bo Nix is also going to be someone that you can definitely start this season. Yeah, man. We're happy to be with 4for4 this season. Eddie said 0.5 PPR. Would you go with Pickens versus Eagles or Emeka Ibuka versus the Falcons? Like I said, we could probably put this in the 4for4 start sit tool. For me, as much as I love Emeka Ibuka, and I'm glad, Eddie, that you have him, I want to see it 1 week first before I absolutely throw all my flowers into him. And so I'm personally leaning with Pickens versus the Eagles. I understand the Thursday night game. You're a little bit worried about it. Potentially some rain in the forecast. But as much as I think Emeka Ibuka could absolutely be like a league winner in fantasy football this season, like let's just give it a week, especially in 0.5 PPR. With the Micah Parsons trade, what's going to happen, and Element would know this more than anybody, is that the Dallas Cowboys defense isn't going to be able to stop anybody. And so being able to essentially get having more passing opportunities, because I imagine they're going to be down a ton in the game. that's something that I'm really I'm excited about. Um, let's see what's next on this list. And like I said, guys, I was just looking to see why I'm still. Is it getting better? No, I'm still lagging. I'm still lagging. I was checking to see what was happening there. Let me get rid of this. Oh, maybe it's the echo cancel. Nope, that made it worse. That made it worse. No, I was just trying to figure out my audio a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies. Okay. Next up, we got Element here. He says Hunter Henry or Bretton Strange kind of screwed up on the tight ends. Now, man, you still got you still got a lot of ways that you can make this work. So definitely this week, I'd probably go with Hunter Henry over Bretton Strange. But I will say this, Element, if Travis Hunter is not playing this week, I would go with Bretton Strange. I know it's sounding like maybe they're just going to give him less snaps, so maybe you lean Bretton Strange just a little bit. But I personally would go with Hunter Henry this week. And thanks, Element. Appreciate you. Yeah, congrats. What's the name? Yeah. So, like I said, guys, this is going to be let me reshare this. It's the 4 for 4 fantasy football. So if you guys come here, you guys will see kind of all of our videos. The coolest thing is I just dropped like my stash video a few days ago. We got some trade videos. Like I said, we're gonna be putting out a ton more content, trade content, waiver wire content. If you guys ask me questions in the comments of those videos, me and Addison will be answering all those questions for you guys. So Element said slightly laggy still. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to make it here, ladies and gentlemen. So apologies on that. Appreciate you, Lon. Element said, which chat are you reading? It's all connected, Element, so I can actually see all the chats as they're coming in. Element says, my September 14th. He's close. Yeah, dude. Look at us. We're about to become Element. I don't know if this is baby number 1, but yeah. You don't know. You don't know what gender? Goodness. Hey, dude. Well, hopefully it goes well. Praying for you and the gal as you experience baby number 1. Lon said, who scores more touchdowns? Kenneth Walker, Harvey, James Cook in week 1. Oh, not Harvey for sure. It's got to be between James Cook and Kenneth Walker. I think if you were going to give the lean line, you got to give it to James Cook, just based on what we kind of saw touchdown volume last season. But I would say it's close. It's close for sure. Element said, excited here for the opener. A little nervous, but I'm confident. Let's go Cowboys. Love it, dude. Roy, appreciate you being here. Trade Garrett Wilson for AJ Brown. Give me AJ Brown 10 out of 10 times there, Roy. So if you can get AJ Brown, 100% do that. We got Kill Kenny 73 Killa in. He said, no question, just glad to be back in the building with the one and only LL. Let's freaking go. Yeah, guys. No, for sure. Lon said you sound good here. I'm glad I sound good. I'm sorry that the lag is just don't look at my face if there's lag, like I said. Yeah, I don't know what's up with it. This is a new software. It might be, like I said, I also moved. So there might be something with something just not translating right here in the Chrome with the StreamYard. But I appreciate you guys for hanging in there. Element said Micah Parsons was not stopping the run, but Micah definitely was the best player in the league for pressure. Exactly, dude. And I understand Jerry Jones, like what he was kind of doing that, like in the sense that he was trying to, stop the run a little bit more by getting defensive tackle, and then you're hoping that those 2 first-round picks. But like the Green Bay Packers, they got themselves better. So like those first-round picks are late first, most likely, like probably somewhere in that 23rd to 32 mark, probably actually farther back than that. And so I just felt like it was a dumb trade by Jerry. But we shall see. We shall see. Adam said, would you trade away JSN and JMO for Puka or possibly London? Yeah, I mean, I would honestly do it for Puka for sure, Adam. But if it had to be between London, I'd probably still do it for London. I'm a pretty big London truther and believer. So, Dynasty Psych. Oh my goodness, dude. This guy, I'll give him a shout out because he's been grinding. If you guys need some start advice, this dude's all over TikTok right now. So to go check him out. Great Dynasty advice, but doing a ton in the redraft right now. So he said, Emeka versus Pickens, Ridley might just be the most common start sit. The Venn diagram of rosters with them seems to be one circle. Yeah. I mean, I think this is an interesting one, specifically when we're considering it. Really, to me, it's not a Ridley conversation. It's more comes down to Emeka Buka versus Pickens, and I know I kind of said this earlier, specifically when it comes to I just trust Pickens more this week. I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense, yes, it's hard versus Dallas Cowboys, but it comes down to I don't believe the Cowboys are going to be able to stop the Philadelphia Eagles run attack or their offense in general. So I would just assume that they're going to be having to absolutely air the ball out to have any sort of success in this game. Whereas Emeka Buka, yes, he changes numbers from number 9 to number 2. We're hearing all the great things in camp from Emeka. I'm glad that you have both, but yeah, I lean Pickens this week over Emeka Buka. But I mean, I would say like in full PPR, it's not terribly uh, far off. And I think most people will probably I would say most people probably do lean Emeka Buka this week, but I personally lean Pickens there. Uh, Seawolf said no lag on my end. Well, hey, it's looking laggy to me, so I'm seeing it, Seawolf. So, Element, you said you meant your birthday. Element says, "What do you do with Romeo Dobbs? Trade, drop, or keep?" 12 minute, dude. I'm not a big Romeo Dobbs believer, so I would say I drop him just for like a higher upside running back, is what I would probably do. Seawolf said in a keeper league, have Chase, Lamb, St. Brown, or Ridley. Goodness, see. Should I drop Ridley and pick up Rice? Play two. Not concerned about us. Yeah, yeah, dude. I have Rice. I mean, I was drafting Rice. I would take him in like the 5th round, even knowing that he has a 6-game suspension. So with the fact that you have all that other wide receiver talent, you can probably wait until week 6. And not to say that Ridley can't be a top 12, top 15 wide receiver, because he 100% can. I just think that Rice, we saw him do it in a 3-game sample size. Imagine if he had the full season this season to do it. So that's kind of where I like it. Adam, appreciate you, dude. Yeah, like I said, Adam, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. And like I said, guys, like this is for real right now. If you wouldn't mind, and you guys are some of the OG subscribers on the Caleb Nemi channel, go check me out. Check the stream out on the 4for4. Even if you left a comment on this one, like it helps me out so much. We're trying to grow that 4for4 fantasy football YouTube channel. We're actually on the way to 2,000 subscribers right now. So I want to make sure that you guys can find me the rest of the season. And I'm actually answering comments over there during the season as well. Josh says, is RJ Harvey and Garrett Wilson for Drake London fair? Which side do you want? Josh, I want, I mean, it's fair. I personally want Drake London. I want Drake London. And the reason I want Drake London is because I have him as a early 2nd round pick and redraft, which I'm sure you drafted him. You got Garrett Wilson, who's maybe a back in 3rd, early 4th at this point, and then you got RJ Harvey, who's like maybe a 5th or 6th, depending on how heavy your league is drafted running backs. For me, I think you'll be able to replace a guy like a Harvey in that, and maybe find somebody on the waiver wire since it's so early in the season. Whereas a guy like a Drake London, I just think the difference between him and Garrett Wilson is pretty significant. So I just want that kind of bona fide stud in Drake London at this point of the season. Lon said, thanks. Tip Elijah Arroyo is a great sleeper Seahawks tight end. One reason they let Fant go because he was looking good. Yeah, Lon, dude, Elijah Arroyo. If you guys, so this is also something for you guys. I got hired by 4for4, but also part of it is I'm part of the DLF fantasy football YouTube channel. So I was actually making dynasty content all off season as well. And Elijah Arroyo was definitely a sleeper that I don't think people were aware of. And then he got drafted in the 2nd round. And then, the Seahawks come out and say, hey, we think he was a 1st round pick if he didn't get injured, his last season there at Miami. And so I like Elijah Arroyo, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, especially when you have JSN, you have Cooper Kupp, Torrey Holton is doing really good, who's a rookie in camp, but there's not really like a bona fide X wide receiver. So I think having a guy that has some, advantage, some bigger upside is definitely interesting. Element said, I'm starting to panic on Travis Hunter. I wouldn't say panic. I just think we as a community, maybe we're a little bit too high on him early on, but I'm still buying in the talent. I'm still, if he's there in the late 5th, early 6th, like you got to draft Travis Hunter. I know there's a little bit of worry with the injury. You also don't know how many snaps, but I mean, I predominantly, even if he plays 80% offensive snaps, the snaps that he's going to be in on offense are 100% going to be the ones that they're passing the ball on. I think he's electric. So I'm still not off Travis Hunter, but just might not be absolutely a game wrecker like week 1. Eddie said, so you're saying fire up Dak. No, Eddie, I am not saying fire up Dak. I'm saying what who was it with Eddie? What was my did I not answer your question, Eddie? Gosh, let me find what I where did I miss your question, dude? Did I miss your question? Now I had to flow and then let me find Eddie. Let me find you. We got so many people firing over your questions. I appreciate it. Oh, I mean, I think Dak is a good quarterback, like relatively. Like I have him higher than consensus. I would feel like this week, if you're taking a look at my rankings, I have him as my QB 12. I think most people probably have him around there like QB 15. But it's not like I'm putting him in the top 5 QBs. Dynasty Psych, as an Eagles fan, our outside cornerback two is a relative issue. Pickens could easily, especially with game script. Yeah, that's my thing. And the last time we've seen Dak with these type of weapons, like he was cooking with CD Lamb. If they get him with, uh, this like what Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, like that was the last great offense that Dak had. And we haven't seen these sort of pass catchers, especially with this week of a running attack. Like maybe Javante Williams, Jaden Blue, Miles Sanders turn into something, but it's definitely nothing great. It's definitely nothing great. Element said, my lineup is Josh Allen, James Conner, Kyron, Puka, Sutton, Henry, Pickens, Broncos D, and Aubrey, of course. Benches, Dobbs, Travis Hunter, Prescott, Strange, Javante Williams, Bryce Young, Vikings D. Yeah, I would say Element right now. I mean, you got some great upside pieces on your bench with Travis Hunter, with Javante, with Strange, with Prescott. I mean, I think the biggest thing would be I would honestly drop one of these QBs, Element. You don't, especially in a one quarterback, you don't need to have 3 QBs, especially when you have Prescott and Josh Allen. You're just going to flip through them. So I would 100% drop Dobbs and Bryce Young and get just some more upside shots on your bench because I don't feel like Dobbs is going to be that upside shot for you. What's the full lineup advice? Yeah. I guess I like your starters, dude. I just think your bench is where it needs the work. So get rid of Bryce Young. Um, I don't necessarily always love holding 2 defenses, but respect if that's what you like to do. Uh, Bryce Young, Dobbs would be the first people I'd cut, those 2. And then if you need to cut somebody else, I would cut the Vikings D. And then you said, should I drop Dobbs for Samson, Pierce, or Kendre? There's also Dowdle, Justin. Yeah, I would drop for Samson. And then Elma said, I'm high on Turpin this season. Yeah, I mean, also another downfield super fast shot. So I do like Turpin. I think the Dallas Cowboys offense could 100% be interesting. 100% could be interesting. Lon said, if your kid is a boy, you can name him Joe for Joe Burrow. I think you're a Bengals fan. Lon, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, he's I am actually having a son. I'm having a boy, but he's not going to be named Joe Burrow. But yeah, we're definitely excited. We're definitely excited. Okay, next question. Element said no one knows their main. Dak is going to be another MVP season. I'm calling it. There's no offensive injuries. I mean, we've seen Dak have that like high level of points per game output. I think what that was back in was it? I'm not trying to bring this up, Element, but when he like before he broke his leg, like he was putting up insane numbers. I'm trying to think, was that 2023, 2022? So like we have seen him do it. We haven't seen him do it in a minute. So that's kind of where we're at. Element said Phil Maffa once he comes back too. You know what, Element? A lot of people are real hype on Phil, and I don't think I am that as high as you are. And the main reason is I just when you have those other 3 in front of him, like that's my biggest argument. Um, that's honestly my biggest argument. There's just too many other people, and it's looking like it's my Wi-Fi, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have to see if we can get this to stop lagging. I'm doing some tweaks as we're going here on the stream. Element said, "Yeah, I don't think I needed 3 quarterbacks either, but I'm really strong on Bryce Young, but I just couldn't drop Dak over Kershaw." Yeah, I understand that, Element. I understand. Lon says you can name him Jamar. LOL. Lon, I'm not trying to be mean here, and I'm not trying to say anything, but with my skin tone, if I name my kid Jamar, like I don't know, he'd either be the coolest kid at school or he'd be made fun of, for sure. for sure. Element said 2023 got robbed on the MVP for sure. Roy said start Garrett Wilson or Trevion Henderson. Roy, this might be counterintuitive, but I think I'm going with Trevion Henderson this week. Ravito, appreciate you, dude. You said Swift, Eckler, Pearsall 4, pick 2 to start this week. Yeah, I would be going with Pearsall for sure. And then it's between the 3 running backs. I personally lean I lean Swift this week. I lean Swift over Ford and Eckler. So give me Swift and Pearsall. Jerome Ford could be an interesting one rest of the season. Element said he looked really good on the preseason. I just think he'll ever get a chance, especially since Deuce Vaughn never got a chance. Yeah, that's the thing. When you see like the own Deuce Vaughn, I felt like, yes, I think he was too small. It's just intriguing. Like they used a pretty high pick on him just to kind of be where they were at there. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts when it comes to the Dallas backfield. I think it's clearly probably what Javonte, and then I like Jaden Blue more than I like Miles Sanders, but it'll be interesting to kind of see that through the rest of the season. Lon said tight end PPR, Goddard or Colston Loveland. I would say for me, it's hard because one's like a more for sure thing, and then one's like an upside play. I think you just got to go with Dallas Goddard this week versus Dallas, hoping that he catches a touchdown. I think we need to see. It's rough to sometimes start that rookie level tight end, week 1, unless it's like Brock Bowers. As much as Colston Loveland, yes, was drafted with that top 10 pick, I am still a little bit nervous about all the mouths to feed in the Bears offense between Rome Odunze, between DJ Moore, those kind of things. And so for me, definitely want to lean the Dallas Goddard side over Colston Loveland. But guys, I'm serious. I appreciate everyone for tuning in here. More start sit questions here. Fire them away. We're also going to be streaming tomorrow night. Hopefully I have this setup figured out. And if not, no, we're gonna have to figure it out. Element said, "Who's your top waiver wide receiver?" I'm trying to figure out who I want to pick up. Yeah, dude. I just put out I think I shared. I just put out like a video a few days ago, where we talked through some stashes. I think it's easier to at this point to like hit on a stash, for specifically for like a running back at this point. But if I were to stash a wide receiver, I know he got injured, but I do like Jalen Colker, especially if you have a free open IR spot to throw him down. Another stash would be Isaac Tesla for the Detroit Lions. I like him. You said Christian Kirk is on waivers. Yeah, I mean, Christian Kirk could definitely work. I think the issue for me with Christian Kirk is he going to be able to hold off Jalen Noel? Because I think Jalen Noel's a little bit more explosive as a rookie. And so Christian Kirk's also a little bit older, a little bit more washed. And so that's my only worry about Christian Kirk. Where the ultimate level upside. Cool. Maybe he becomes the Christian Kirk of 2023, but I kind of doubt it. Ravito, appreciate you. Said Caleb Williams break 20 points or 25 points at home versus the Vikings. I mean, I'll be honest, like any quarterback in a given week can do that. Will he really be able to? Probably not. I think 20 points is probably, it's in his range of outcomes for sure, but I am not as high on Caleb this week. I think the Minnesota Vikings defense is going to do a good job to stall him. So I would say no, Ravito, personally. Element, you said, do I trade for Loveland? I've gotten lots of offers with him involved. Do I trade for Loveland? I've been getting lots of offers with him involved. I mean, if you can get him, if I missed out, so this was kind of my draft strategy, and I'm sorry a lot of you guys did not tune into any of the content of my draft strategies this year. I would say that I was pretty clear on if I did not get, I didn't really love drafting Brock Bowers in the early part of the second. Trey McBride kind of fell to the later part of the second in a lot of my drafts. So then I was like, it was either George Kittle like in the late third, early fourth, or I was just waiting until Tyler Warren or Coastal Loveland. So I like him. I like him. I just, if you can get it done, depends on what that offer is, Element. You said picked up Coker and have a free spot since I dropped Bryce Young and dropped Dubs. Yeah. stash some cokehead. I do like some coker when he comes back. Steve, appreciate you, Steve. Thanks for tuning in to the new 4 for 4. Or, oh, Steve, actually, like I said, if you guys are actually tuning in on the Caleb Nemi channel, come check us out on the 4 for 4 YouTube channel. This way, I just totally like pulled this up. This was one of my last videos that I made like a day ago. We're putting out brand new content. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. So definitely want all you guys to be tuning in to that. But Steve, you said DJ, Ricky, or Travis Hunter for the flex. I think this week in particular is kind of when you just like lean into your studs. And so as much as like I'm not like a huge like DJ Moore believer, like honestly, Ricky, I believe you'll probably be playing Travis Hunter. You'll probably be playing Ricky Pearsall a lot more down the line this season. I think you just have to lean into DJ Moore versus this Minnesota defense. I know I was just telling Ravito before this that it's hard to see Caleb Williams getting 25 fantasy points, but I do think even if Caleb Williams doesn't get 25 fantasy points, that DJ Moore can still put up a respectable amount of number, especially if this is PPR, that I would learn with DJ Moore. But if I had to rank them right now, I would go DJ Moore, Ricky Pearsall, Travis Hunter. Paraco, appreciate you, dude. You said trade Hurts and Andrews for Burrow and McBride last week in the Superflex, 4-point passing touchdown. Good trade. Oh, you traded Hurts and Andrews for Burrow and McBride. Yeah, dude. I think Burrow's a slight tier below Hurts, but I mean, McBride's such a far tier above Andrews. I just think you're getting so, and especially in a 4-point passing touchdown, like I understand there's the tush push when it comes specifically to Jalen Hurts, but I want to give the push there to the Burrow and McBride side for sure, dude. And then Element, you said Stephon Diggs, Dobbins, Godwin, Olave, Jonathan Williams, or Scary Terry in the flex. Lean into your studs, Element. Go with Scary Terry there. My dude. Appreciate you and for all your love. You said, although he spells his name wrong, thought on a certain running back in Pittsburgh overall room. Buying the RB3 depth chart designation. Look, Jalen Warren just got extended. Yeah, so this is interesting. So in my draft, one of my home leagues last night, I pulled the trigger on Caleb Johnson in the 3rd round. Not third. Whoa. 3rd round's way too early. Sorry. I pulled the trigger on him in the 7th round, even though I knew, and this is where I was messing up my words there, where I knew that he was, the depth chart said he was 3rd. There's just no way that Caleb Johnson is worse than Kenny Gainwell. And so for me, I'm going to lean into the fact that they're probably just doing that because of Kenny Gainwell being the veteran. Now, do I think I'm starting Caleb Johnson week 1? Heck no. But I mean, by week 3 or week 4, week 5, like I think Caleb Johnson could easily be the RB2. And something happens to Jalen Warren. We haven't seen Jalen Warren absolutely hold up to being the absolute bell cow. So I understand he got extended, but yeah, give me Caleb Johnson at that current value there in the room. Lon said, week 1 Sunday NFL with the Red Zone channel is one of my favorite days of the year. Oh, Lon, dude, I have been waiting for Scott Hansen. We're going to have to see what happens with this new buyout when it comes specifically to like ESPN taking over. Is this going to be like the last good year Red Zone has? To be determined. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for Sunday. We're pumped. Element said, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about Scary Terry this season. Not sure what. It's really just with the contract. His contract essentially was saying that situation. A lot of people are just a little bit, bitter about it. And so that's kind of the reason why. Oh no, we're back. Sorry. We got Steve says, do we think Ingram is going to get absolutely peppered with targets here? I mean, they signed him specifically to get peppered with targets this year. So yeah, I hope he does. I hope he does this season. Element said Tyreek Hill is solid wide receiver. Yeah, dude. You wouldn't have been last year. You'd had to get him as a wide receiver 1, and now you get him as a wide receiver 2 with some of that little discount that's happening. So, I'm for sure taking Tyreek Hill there. Guys, totally agree. There's a value in round 7 price for Caleb. Warren doesn't crack 50% consistent snap share. Totally different physical profile. Najee. Yeah, and I think as we saw Najee Harris with the volume be like, he wasn't a great fantasy football running back, but I mean, he was like startable. Yeah, he's like a solid RB2. And so I think like, when you get into round 7, like, yes, do I want a guy that potentially could break out? Yes. I know like a guy that I love later on, I love the Jacksonville Jaguars backfield. Like I love the fact that we were able to get Travis Etienne or Bashal Tootin super late. And one of those guys, not a big fan of Tank Bigsby, but maybe it'll be Tank. One of those guys could absolutely erupt. Um, I think the Caleb Johnson early third round draft capital, like the production profile and the usual class, he's probably getting drafted in the second round. So even if he's getting, quote unquote, he's the third running back, like I'm not that concerned long term over that overall value and what we're going to be able to get out of him. But I know we've been answering a ton of questions here tonight, and this is just a great taste of what is to come. We are planning on streaming tomorrow night on the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Like I said, we're gaining a lot more subscribers over there. So definitely, if you guys haven't checked that out, go check that out. We're going to be streaming over there every Wednesday night. I just felt like I had to get on my old channels plus the 4for4 Fantasy channel just to go over what some of the transition has happened. Let a lot of you guys who always are tuning into the lives know where I've been, what I've been up to. And I think this in of itself element is like the truth. Like as much as yes, I think there's so many questions you could have. Like you drafted your studs for a reason. So just like lean into your studs. And I think that's going to be the true answer on a week to week basis of what you should be doing. And how you should be letting your things play out overall. So like I said, we're going to be answering all your questions over here on the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. We want you guys to be subscribed. So like I said, if you guys haven't already, go subscribe to the channel. Go watch my video from a day ago. That would help me out so much. Show the boys what the community is like. Like I said, if you guys want to go tune in, it's over here on the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Brand spanking new. We started this about a month ago. We've already grown it to over 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, the video editing is way better than anything I ever did on my channel. So like you guys are in for an absolute treat anytime. You guys tune into that. Now, Steve says, what if all my studs bust? Steve, if all your studs bust, hopefully you hit on some waiver wires. If not, you're going to be kind of hosed. That's fantasy football though. Paraco said, could you rate my squad now? Of course, dude. Superflex quarterbacks, Burrow and Love got solid quarterbacks in a Superflex. You got Bucky, Ken Walker's, Tony Pollard, ETN solid. This is probably where, yes. So what we Nico GSN, some good value. Ridley Downs, McBride. Okay, Paraco. The fact that we have two, top 15 quarterbacks. I know Burrow's higher than that, but let's just say Love is somewhere between QB 12 to QB 15 for most people. You got two running backs that I would have in my top 13. Plus Pollard's like a top 16 type guy. Two wide receivers that I have in my top 12. Plus you got the tight end too. Bro, Paraco, I give this team definitely like an A- for sure. And you can't really go higher than that, but yeah, A- just feels really good there. Love that for you. Good team. Emma said, oh, well, someone dropped Evan Ingram, so I guess I'll have Kittle and Ingram. Hey, fire that up, dude. Fire that one up. I do like that for you. Get some Kittle and get some Ingram. But like I said, guys, I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. We'll be streaming again tomorrow night. I'm going to be answering all your questions throughout the season. Going to be here for you. Babies due, like I said, September 22nd. So once that happens, we'll potentially be MIA for like a few days while I recover from that. I say I recover, my wife recovers. But we're going to be answering all your start state questions. So if you guys have questions, go leave them on the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel. In the meantime, like I said, we'll be streaming again tomorrow night. So if you guys want to go check it out, go check out the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel, and then we will go from there. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. I'll wait 2 seconds for any final start sit questions to come in. But if not, we're going to end this in about a minute. So get those final start sit questions in the chat. And thanks, man. Thanks, Element. Element, I'm still here for you, bro. So come tune in on the 4for4 Fantasy Football YouTube channel, bro. I'm here for you all season, bro. Got to figure out this lag though. This is actually taking me off. Element, I actually moved. I moved into a new house, so I'm a little bit worried about what I'm gonna have to do for this Wi-Fi situation, but we'll figure it out. I've got nothing. Just gonna sit back and relax. Hey, just sit back and relax, man. Just sit back and relax. Seawolf said, "Do you like Murray or Lawrence as a backup? Already have Daniels. I prefer Murray. Seawolves. I prefer Murray 100%, 100%. So that's who I would be going with. And see, I appreciate you, dude. Like that's the thing. I just appreciate that even though I haven't posted at all this season on the old channel, that you guys were still sticking around. And I appreciate anybody from the new channel that has come to stick around as well. Aldo said start two, Ridley, RJ Harvey, or Debo. I am going with Ridley for sure. And then it's between RJ Harvey and Debo. I think you're a little bit worried about what that workload's going to look like for RJ Harvey week one. Debo, we know, is going to be on the field. So give me Debo, give me Ridley, but I'm glad that you have RJ Harvey. And I think he's going to be somebody that's definitely going to help you win, especially when we talk like week 3, week 4, week 5 moving forward. So appreciate you, Aldo. But like I said, guys, appreciate you guys all for tuning in. We'll be back again with another stream tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.